Nearly every town in Britain has an interesting past, but what about Kingsmere? Over a century ago, when the late King Edward was a prince, he stayed in Kingsmere and studied at what was the best university in the whole of Britain. However, in 1954, a great storm caused the university to flood, and due to its age, it was unrepairable. Today, Kingsmere has been granted planning permission to build a brand new university. The aim is to maintain the historic look of its predecessor, whilst being able to cope with the modern day demand. As a tribute to the city's past, it will be named King Edward University. Welcome to Kingsmere, a UK inspired town with a sprinkle of my own creativity. In this series, we're focusing on building a British inspired city from the ground up. We're mixing the UK region pack with a few custom assets to hopefully create somewhere nice to live. And from that brief cinematic that you've seen, this is what we've done so far. However, we need to crack on and build ourselves a beautiful looking university. So thankfully for us, unlike any other town in the whole of the United Kingdom, Kingsmere actually has an efficient council which have already planned out the infrastructure and the roads for our brand new King Edward University. Where should we have it, I hear you ask? Well, let's have a little look. In this small divide that kind of runs between the rivers, we've got the perfect little spot for our brand new university. History says that the university was actually here beforehand, but the Great Flood caused from this looking quite small stream completely destroyed it, and due to its old structure it just wasn't repairable. But thankfully for us, our planning permission has come through now, and we have got this brand new area where we're going to build a university. You can probably guess that the uni is going to go here. It's going to look quite old, and it's going to have lots of sports areas and stuff like that. As you can see, we've already started putting out some lines on a football pitch. I nearly said soccer. Gosh, what's wrong with me? So we've already got that, and then we've got a little bit of a village layout down here, small little town, just a kind of extension onto what we've got at the moment. So lots of work to be done, lots of progress to be made, and let's crack on and see how it ends up looking. Now, although this is technically all one large bit of planning permission, we're going to be splitting these two areas into specialist industry, no, district creation please. We're going to be splitting this area into two different sections, and we're simply going to have one section for the university, which is going to be starting from here all the way down to the river. We're going to run it alongside the river because this is all going to be part of the university parks. We're going to connect it up all the way to this pathway that we've got here, and it's going to run down alongside the pathway that goes alongside the bottom of the hill. And we're going to bring that down just here like that and connect it up just like that. And as you probably guessed, this is going to be called King, oh gosh, come on, get a grip, King Edward University. Perfect. Doesn't that look fantastic? And now you're probably thinking, oh, what are we going to call the little town then? My creativity is running wild, and you won't believe what we're going to call it. I'm actually going to block off basically all of this, because we are going to fill in that little gap below as well at some point. Maybe not today. We're going to hook that up right to the corner, all the way across. We're going to bring that up to here, and we're going to wrap around this section just like that, just to kind of get it all in there, and then come back through on our river. Perfect. And this Sunset Bluff, no thank you. This little town is going to be called King Edward. Yeah, so this little town here is King Edward, and obviously that's the King Edward University. It makes sense, doesn't it? Does it not? Some people might disagree, but whatever. Somebody actually commented in one of my videos that Kingsmere is actually a real place. I didn't actually know that. So just for your information, for the real Kingsmere, King Edward didn't even probably know that place existed. This is completely fictional, completely making it up, just to tell a story and give a bit of life to our city. But let's crack on. So as you can see, we've got a connection over here. I've filled out a few pathways running along the university, penciled out a few sort of areas. As you can see, some of it's raised up a little bit higher just due to the terrain. This area is really bugging me, but we can't quite get it perfect at the moment. And I also don't know why there are random people parked here, but it is what it is. We've got a few bridge connections across the river to allow walkability to the uni. And then these paths, as you can see, run across basically everywhere down by the river. We've got a weird sort of layout here. This is probably going to change in the town of King Edward. It'll probably change. But let's begin with the university. So, as you'll probably know, in the universities there is not a British one. However, the standard university, you can kind of play it as being somewhat British. So that's kind of the plan. So as you can see, this miraculously, thanks to our genius planners, this fits perfectly on the approach to this roundabout, which is really good to see. Really good to see. And it's quite nice and central. So isn't that fantastic? And then, if we click into this, we've got a couple of upgrades. So this one, the extension wing, will have to do that because we want it to be extended. And then you'll probably notice that this park fits pretty much perfectly in there. And so does this one. So we already have a beginning of our brand new uni, which is quite a nice looking building. It's nice. And we're sticking with that plan of making it old and traditional, obviously a lot bigger than the original. But we need to rename this, otherwise it's not going to be a worthy tribute. King Edward University. The next thing that we want to do here is we want to use this university library, and we've got the perfect spot for it just up here. We want to get rid of this, and we want to try and... Ooh, which was the right way? So this way or this way? I think it was this way is the front, isn't it? We want this chap to try and live nice and centrally to here, and we need to try and get this right because I don't think you can move it on extensions, so we're going to whack that in there. That should fit pretty much nice and central to here, which is great. It does. That's fantastic. And then the first thing that we need to do is we need to sort out this area that we've got here. So we're going to pick up these trees. We don't want them there. We want it to be nice and clear. We've already got pathways that go down, but I want to drag this surface all the way down to the end. And I want to do it with both of them if we can. So I'm just going to do this for now. And then we want to try and grab that one as well. Something like that. That's terrible. But we'll make it work, don't worry. We want... Okay, so this is going to be a little bit skew-if. So that's at a decent angle. We just pull you back for the time being, because we want this to be somewhat straight if we can. Just something like that, and we want this to be a 90-degree if we can make it happen. Disaster. Let me figure this out. So in this section along the middle, we're using Sully's plant pots or whatever. I don't really know what you call them. I'm going to call them Sully's plant pots. They came with the Brickworks pack. And we're just going to run them all the way down the kind of outside here. If we can get it somewhat symmetrical, that would be grand. It's weird that some of them don't have it. Is it because I've got randomization? Yes, probably. But it's not all doom and gloom. We don't necessarily need it in every single pot. But that, with that connection there, I think that looks so much better already, which is fantastic. I'm tempted to potentially put a few benches and stuff down here as well. So we'll grab a few nice benches so people can chill out and sit on the walkway. We'll go with these ones will probably do. And we'll make sure they're also at 90 degrees. And we'll try and pull them a little bit closer. Like that. And then the same here. like that. And then we'll do the same going back down, because we want this to kind of feel a little bit more alive. And then like that, a few benches, la 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 la. And I'm wondering if we'd benefit from any hedges going down here. I'm not too sure whether we will, but let's just have a little look anyway. I'm wondering if maybe we just have the benches on the, not benches, the hedges. They're a bit thick, aren't they? I was thinking of maybe just having them like along this side, but I'm wondering if that's just doing a little bit too much, because obviously we've got hedges here and here. So maybe we'll not do that. I mean, I don't think that's too bad anyway. I think that looks pretty reasonable. That's not too tragic. Okay, yeah, we'll keep that. And what I'm going to do on this side, I'm going to try and drag this surface. Oh dear. I'm going to try and drag this surface outwards as well, but try and get it like it's meant to, so it somewhat looks like it's meant to be. I'm not entirely convinced that that is actually right at all, to be honest. I mean, it's at 180 degrees there. Does it look weird? It does look weird. How are we going to fix you? I mean, 145, what if we just do that and straighten that up? I mean, it's probably as good as we're going to get it, to be honest. Probably as good as we're going to get it. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to fill in, again, this area with the grass. I want this to look very nice and university, like a top-tier uni, as it's a tribute to our late king that actually went here himself. So we would love to have this as a real big drawer of students from all around the world to come and study here. That's not too bad, not too bad at all. Obviously there's a slight incline here which makes it look a little bit weird, but I think it's alright. I don't think that's too bad at all. I might grab some more of Sully's little plant pots and just run them along the outside. Where were they? There they are. There's these ones, there's smaller ones, or there's bigger ones. I feel like bigger ones might work better kind of curved around there, so I might do that. Okay, I think that's already looking better than it was. As you can see, it kind of looks like it's meant to be a uni all put together at the moment. Obviously we've got loads to do, but I think it's actually looking relatively okay at the moment. So let's continue on with our journey. So these next couple of choices that I'm going to make, you're probably going to sit there and think, what on earth are you doing? However, just trust the process, and I'm hoping that once we manage to kind of get it right, it will look really good. So as you can see, we've got this little road here, and we've got this lovely building, and we've got the archway that kind of goes over the top, and I think that would be really nice to somehow, that's pretty much perfect-ish fit. So let's slap you down just like that. Just about fits into that corner. It's a little bit wonky, but I think that's because of the size of this, but we can ignore that. That'll be fine, don't worry. And then we want to connect you up to, we're going to use the college building, which will be this one. Now, I think what we'll do, how does that look against that path? That's a little bit too far over, so if we go like that, we can always move it, can't we? Just ever so slightly. Maybe a little bit more over. Seems about right to me. Now I'm hoping that we can grab this colour, copy that, and then okay, so it makes it somewhat a similar colour. Okay, can we So that light colour is down below, so we want to copy that colour. And which one's the brown one? That one? Nope, wrong. That one. I mean, that looks like it matches a little bit better. A little bit. I mean, it's not perfect, and it's never going to be perfect because they're from two completely different assets. But it does sort of fit. So, yeah, it'll be fine. So I need to add a few surfaces to these, and then hopefully that will begin to look quite nice, I hope. I'm just carefully trying to put some surfaces together for this building, just to try and bring it all together and make it kind of look like it's meant to be here. It's going to be slightly difficult due to the gradients. As you can see, it kind of overlaps a little bit, which is slightly annoying, but we can just try and fiddle that potentially and make it work. I mean, yeah, we can only do what we can do, and there is this bit which I can't find anything that matches these tiles, so we're just going to have to pretend that that is not wonky, but for the rest of it, it should be okay. So out of the back here, we're going to need to continue on with this. So we want it to go all the way into that little lip there, and we want that to essentially run underneath here and link up to this, probably about here. Bring it back in at a nice sort of angle so that we can drop that just back into there. Hopefully that will give us a nice little pathway around, which is good. It does do that, which is fantastic. And we might just add a little further pathway that kind of branches round to maybe about here, like this. Don't think this is going to look as good. I mean, it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. It's not awful. It's not awful. And then we need to fill in the rest of it with some nice green grass like this. And then the same with the inside of these parts. So then it looks more, again, more well put together. More like groomed, well-groomed grass. Is that the right term? I hope that's the right term. Anyway, I'll do that and then I'll show you kind of what the end result has ended up being. Okay, let's have a little look at our finest work. So as you can see, we've added a few surfaces around both buildings. We've got the pathway with a nice couple of bushes around the outside here as well. Another sully tree plant thing there. Around this side, we've got a lovely little fountain just plopped into the middle. And 3 more sully bushes, and then some more normal bushes down here, which go underneath this beautiful archway. Oh gosh, that wasn't a good angle. Underneath there, which looks really nice. Out the back, a few benches, pots, etc. The concrete is backed up to the pathway, and it just fits in pretty nice, and a couple of pots out the front there. I think that looks quite good, to be honest. I think that's quite a nice addition, especially with all the pathways and all that stuff. I think that's quite good. Good looking stuff. So we've got some more to do. We've got more gaps to fill. So let's think about what we're going to do first. We might as well focus on this area first. So that will be the plan. We'll work on trying to sort out this bit and then go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add a couple of tennis courts into this section just here. Like that. That's slightly skewiff and it's not quite flat either. So let's just flatten that out as much as we somewhat can. I think that's probably about it. And we'll see if we can just move you ever so slightly. Ooh, there's a hole in the middle. There we go. That'll probably do. Otherwise we'll mess around with it forever. Just have those in there. We'll see if we can pick some fencing to potentially go around said tennis courts, which can probably just go like that. Round the back like, ooh, slightly skew-if. Just like that, and then run one straight down into this corner here, which will look really decent. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. But just, oh, a save. It is slightly not flat, which is going to, whoever's playing on this side is probably going to lose. And let's grab the rest of our tennis stuff to make it into an actual tennis court. Come on, come on, come on. So first things first, we need tennis net, which we'll try to get near enough in the middle. It's never going to be perfect. Just like that. Nice and tennisy. The umpires can both sit back to back, so when there's nothing going on they can talk to each other. That'll be fantastic for everybody involved. Just like that. Yes, that sounds about right. And then we'll have a couple of tennis benches on this side, like that and like that. And we'll do the same just over here, that, like that. That's probably about it tennis wise, to be honest with you. But they do look like functioning tennis courts now, which is great. Yeah, I quite like the look of that. That's quite a nice thing to have. Relatively posh, I'd say. It suits the uni vibes. I'm not sure about the fence. Maybe the fence should be higher given it's tennis, but then again, everyone's good enough to keep hitting the ball, aren't they? Yeah, no worries. There we go. That area is looking much nicer now. We've added a few trees, a bit of greenery, a few benches, stuff like that. It's all looking pretty good. It's all coming together quite nicely. As you can see, we've added some bike parking just at the end here as well for all of these students that are going to be cycling over. So all is looking pretty good, if you ask me. I think that's a nice little portion of our uni done there. And we just need to continue that on throughout the next space. We should start on this space next, I reckon. Okay, in this section here, we've added kind of a swimming sort of area so that your students can come and practice their diving and their swimming and all that good stuff. Added plenty of bike parking outside here, as you can see, and a few footpaths that go up here, a bit of woods alongside this path that kind of runs the whole way up there into the uni. I think it's looking all pretty spot on. I think it's coming together quite nicely. It's quite a nice sort of area that we've got at the moment. Obviously there's still loads to do, but at the moment it's looking pretty decent. Right, let's have a little catch up on how the university is looking now. So we've pretty much detailed a lot of it. Obviously we've got these two football pitches here. We've added some parking just down here as well as some bike parking. Varying kind of textures around here. We've got some of the riverbeds to fill in some of the gaps, and then a lot of green grass, plenty of trees. I haven't made it too dense around here, as in building wise it's more greenery and nice places to be, so it looks pretty good. We've added a couple more tennis courts of different types, as you can see, a blue one and a green one, and then some nice seating area on these kind of brick sort of tiles that we've got placed down, and a few benches and scoreboards in the middle of the tennis courts, which look really good. But yeah, I think this uni is looking pretty good, if you ask me. I think that's quite a nice looking uni. I think that's quite a good tribute to our King Edward that went here when he was a prince. I think it's quite nice. And once we build out that estate over there, I think it's actually going to not look too bad. It doesn't look too out of place. It looks like a traditional uni with a uni sort of park to it. I'd say that's pretty good. At least I'm happy with it. I think it looks quite nice. It's a nice building. It's not too much, and it still has like the luxury, nice architecture, good amenities and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Where are these all cycling to? So they obviously cycle down here, but I wonder which way they cycle, because we don't have any bike paths that take them across the river. Partly because the green bikes are so ugly, I'm not going to lie. I think it's nice to see that this is being used. Look at that. Wow, they're on fire. Good. Fantastic. fantastic. Now I'm going to make a start down here. It's unlikely that I'm going to finish it all in today's video just because I've got a few things on, but we'll make a bit of a start down here. So first things first, this should be called Edward Street. So we'll change that to Edward Street because it makes sense if it's going up to the uni. It should sort of be Edward Street, I reckon. Makes sense. Yeah, not bad. So I'm going to start off by adding a few service buildings because, as you can probably tell over there, ambulances are a bit of an issue. So what we'll do is we'll make sense to start off with a medical practice. And we're going to have that just in this little section here. We're going to upgrade it as much as we can because we're going to need as much assistance as we can until we build a big hospital. So that's good. Nice that it's got its own GP. And then here I think we'll have quite a large, or well, the only fire station. I think what we'll do is we'll whack that. We'll have it against here. Just like that, just kind of on the main road as you come in. And we'll upgrade you as much as we can, which is good, and we'll probably just chuck a few trees in this section here just to block it off a little bit. We're not intending to fill that bit with any houses or anything, so just whack that in there like that. That should close it off just a little bit better. Yeah, all of our ambulances are going out straight away. I'm pretty sure there's not that many ambulances in these. There's 6. Buying. Oh, buying stuff, yeah. They're all dispatched already. So they're going to be sending it on blues and twos down London Road to the mountain of people that are waiting for ambulances. It's just like real life, isn't it? Just like real life. Good, so that's good. And then a police station. We've got the British police station. Where do we want that? Maybe here would probably do. Maybe around there or anywhere else. I think probably here will be fine, I reckon. Yeah, we'll whack it there and then we'll move it over slightly to about here. Can we upgrade that at all? Oh, we can. There we go. And we got a brand new police station as well. So we've got all of the 3 main services that we need down here. We'll just try and maybe drag the surface of these down a bit. Like that. All the way to the street there, which will be good. And then fill that in with a few trees alongside that gap. Perfect. Good. Right, it's already looking a little bit better. It's basically all just emergency services going out. Go, go, go. Avengers assemble. Rah, rah, rah. In regards to death care, we could benefit from a church, but where would we put said church? That's the thing. Would it fit here? I mean, it would fit there. Obviously, without the upgrades, technically it would fit there. Do we want it there, though? Not sure. Probably not. Maybe we should find... Oh, maybe here would be quite nice to have a little church. Just on that little gap there, potentially. Maybe if we have it here. Like that. Probably be quite a good little spot for it, potentially. It'd be nice to have it like that, but it's not quite the right angle. Maybe we'll have it out the back here. And we'll upgrade that as much as we can. We might have to get rid of that little roundabout and then just add in a small little road just to service our church. How's best to do this? Maybe like that. That looks so ugly, doesn't it? so ugly. I can't really do much at this angle. I mean, that's just going to have to do that, isn't it? And we can just fill that in with a little bit of soil or similar and put a few trees out there. I think that'll probably be fine. I don't know what this riverbed one looks like, so I'm just going to put it down. Oh, it just looks like a riverbed. Cool. Put a few trees within. Like that. And then we have a small church for our little King Edward village as well. Pretty good, pretty good. So I think I'm actually going to call it there for today's video, because we've actually, although this video is only 31 minutes long at the moment, we've spent a lot of time planning it and detailing it and stuff like that. So yeah, we're going to build the actual little village slash town of King Edward later on, or in the next video. But for the time being, let's just have a look at the uni, and I think it looks really good. I like the different types of elevation on some of the parts and the unique buildings that we've put together. I think it's really come along quite nicely, and I think it's a suitable tribute to our late king that was once a prince that attended the original university before it broke down. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it. I did see that our ambulances are already hard at work trying to resolve our no ambulances problem, which is really good and really helpful. And hopefully in the next video we can start bringing King Edward, the district, together, making the university area feel a little bit more complete. But nevertheless, let me know if you've got any suggestions down below. If you become a channel member, you can get early access to the videos, but don't worry if you don't. You'll still see them just a little bit later. Thanks very much for watching. I appreciate all of your support, and I'm really enjoying this series. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Good night.